Moment for God.
Take a deep breath. You are never alone. God's presence is always here. Open your heart. Cleanse your mind and receive today's scripture.
Welcome. Today we're doing a deep dive into Matthew 6.25 from the Sermon on the Mount.
Right, that famous line, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear.
Yeah.
Powerful words.
And then that question, is not life more than food and the body more than clothes? It really makes you stop and think.
It really does. And that's kind of our goal today, isn't it? To explore why this ancient guidance still feels so relevant for you, navigating, all the pressures of modern life.
Absolutely. What's striking is how directly it tackles worry, which is just such a universal human thing, especially when, society often pushes us towards getting more, securing more stuff. This verse asks us to look at value differently.
Okay, so context first. The Sermon on the Mount, Jesus is outlining a whole different way to live, Addis. How does this verse fit in?
It's fundamental, really. The whole sermon pushes back against standard priorities. So instead of being consumed by anxiety about, basic needs.
Food, clothes, shelter. Exactly. The focus shifts to the value of life itself. Life is a gift, maybe, something we receive, not something we guarantee just by worrying about it.
So it touches on that idea of provision. But it's not saying just sit back and do nothing, is it?
No, not at all. It seems more about recognizing that anxiety itself doesn't actually fix anything. It has limits. Worrying doesn't add an inch to your height, as another part says.
Right. Wasted energy.
Or maybe even a distraction. It pulls you away from actually living, from maybe fostering a deeper trust in, how things work. There's this underlying sense of a caring creator.
That God is aware, involved.
That seems to be the implication, that the one who sustains creation knows our needs.
Okay, so if we're not supposed to be paralyzed by worry, where does that leave us? This ties into seeking first the kingdom, which comes up later, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about where you ground yourself. Finding real peace isn't about pretending problems don't exist. It's about anchoring yourself in an assurance that's bigger than your current situation, a different orientation, trusting your well-being matters within a larger picture.
Which feels almost countercultural today. We're bombarded constantly with things telling us we're not enough. We need more, buy this, worry about that.
Precisely. And this verse just cuts right through it. It's a powerful counter-narrative.
How so?
It directly challenges the idea that your security, your worth, comes from what you own or how you look.
Or your job title, or your savings.
All of that. It forces you to ask, where am I really placing my trust? For feeling okay, for feeling secure?
That's a deep question for you, the listener. Where do you find stability? Is it in things that can disappear?
Or is it something more foundational? The verse points towards maybe an inner peace that comes from a different kind of dependence.
Dependence on what then?
Well, not on material things, which are inherently fleeting, but perhaps on something more constant. God, a higher power, that unchanging source. Cultivating that connection fosters a kind of spiritual maturity.
So life itself is being redefined. It's less about what you have.
And more about your connection, your reliance on that source.
Yeah. And is there freedom in that?
That seems to be the promise. It's not about being passive, but choosing actively to live with purpose without that constant, heavy burden of anxiety.
Anxiety that doesn't actually achieve anything productive anyway.
Exactly. It's about trusting in that steady love and provision, even when, things feel really uncertain.
Okay, so wrapping this up, this dive into Matthew 6.25 really seems to highlight this shift. Move the main focus away from material anxiety.
And towards cultivating a deeper trust, a trust in something bigger.
And the result could be more peace, a richer sense of what life's really about.
Definitely. So a final thought maybe for you listening. Just consider what your biggest worries are actually centered on. Ask yourself if shifting your focus just a little towards the intrinsic value of life itself.
Instead of just the stuff.
Right, instead of just the stuff.
Yeah.
Could that offer you a different perspective? Maybe even a sense of release? Something to think about.